Hi everyone, this is a tutorial on how to set up your trial system. What we're going to do is give you a username and a password, and we'll tell you exactly where to log into the system. Here's one that we've got already. So the URL, the address bar at the top, will be provided, and then you'll just pop in your username and the password we give you, and then you'll get to the home screen. Now the home screen can be set up and customized around your needs, but when you first log in, you'll see there's a dashboard just here, and there's some entry screens over on the right hand side. So you can enter things like inquiries, new jobs, new contracts. You may have more, you may have less, depending on the setup. At the top, you've got some tabs, and these are going to access areas of the system. So for example, the calendar I can click on, and that will open up the calendar. I've got the console view, which will tell me where everybody is. So it needs the location, so you just say allow, and then you can basically look where all your contracts are, your visits, your people, jobs, call outs, follow-ups, things like that. So it's just a mapping page. You've then got your clients lists, so I can select one of these, what we call views, and say show me all my clients. If I needed a new one, I could click new, and then off I go, completing in the details to create a new client. So for example, I can put in an address, and then that can pre-populate the billing address. I can give the client a name, telephone number, website, the number of employees, the industry types, whatever you fancy, and then you can click save. That then will create a brand new client. I've then got contracts and jobs, and again I can use my view and say, right, just show me my contracts, just show me my jobs. You've got your schedules tab, and again using the drop downs I could say show me my job schedules or show me my contract schedules. You've got your visits tab, where you can see things like completed visits today, all visits, maybe visits this year, and this will then basically just shrink that list of all the records into a view. Your reports tab is next, and this is where you will look at all your report folders. We've got one called ServiceTracker Key Business Metrics, and this is where you'll find your state of service reports, you will find your vehicle check reports, you will find visits and overdue visits, cycle reports. Everything's all in this folder. Your ServiceTracker setup page is where you first start to customize your system. And I've already set up some minor details, but you can click first on the company details, and you can update your company information. This is where you will update your name, your company name, your address, maybe your telephone number, and any kind of personalized settings. It's also where you see the number of licenses that you've got available and any of the features that you've got, things like AI, for example, or any integrations with other systems. I'm just going to hit my back button. And then the other side of the setup then is updating your company logo. Again, if we can do this for you, we will, but you can do that, and you can just say upload my logo, choose a file from your PC, make it public because this is going to be facing your customers, and then save. You've then got the ability to create new users. So there's a little create new user wizard, which you just click on there. You put in the first name, last name, email address, maybe set a profile. If you set up any roles or security, you can assign them to this as well, and then just click next. That's going to create your new users. You can then add new resources. So again, these are the people you work with, but also you could add subcontractors, you could add equipment. It's basically what you want to assign to a particular visit or a schedule of visits. On the setup page as well, this is where you can add your products and services, so the things that you sell basically, or your prep and waste. Some people call them materials, and this is your catalogue of things that you use while you're on site. It's really simple to do. You click into it, you click new, and then you just add the details. So you got active ingredients, concentrations, names, statuses. All of these fields basically help you to remain compliant and just capture the most information you can for the materials you're using. Again, back on the setup page, you do have other features. So you could set up price books, so different customers may be on different price books. You could set up territories, so you can assign technicians to various territories. You've got a data import wizard, but by all means you can send your data to us and we can import it for you. And then you've got things like PDF templates, like maybe your visit report or a quotation template. This is where it gets a little bit technical, but we've got the options here to be able to create PDF templates. The setup doesn't just stop there. There's other tabs at the top. So system configuration, you could perhaps create email templates. You can update pick lists, so you drop down menus, and record types to determine the items that you may be servicing. You can go to reports and dashboards from here, and then you've got other things like skill management, product management, resources, territories. All of that can be done from your system config. You can customize it even further. So you could put in things like your VAT number, your company number, any system settings. So if you're in different time zones, you can add that. You've got invoicing and quote settings, calendar settings, alerts, which basically email the customer the reports, nearest technician settings. There's lots and lots going on in the background. So you can have a play around with that. On the mobile side, we just say click on our link and you can download our mobile app from Google Play or the Apple Store. If you need training and support, you can always click on the training and support, and then you've got some how-to guides, and you can log a ticket with us if you need any support. That's basically the navigation. You've also got a search bar at the top, so you can do a search and it will search the entire system. There you go, routine visits. You can part search as well, so you can put in like a postcode, and then you could do asterisks. It's kind of a wild card, and it will try and find anything with the kind of search term that you used plus the wild card. When you click into a record, you can then see the record detail page. So you've got the client name, the owner, the phone number, the address, contact details, any outstanding actions and recommendations, all the items that are listed on site, quotes, invoices, attachments, and then any client attachments. So this is where you would put in things like perhaps a site plan or certifications, visit reports, documentation, risk assessments, things like that. These will then be available on the mobile as well as a customer portal. So that's what's related to this client. So let's see the detail. So I can click on the details tab. That then again tells me who the customer is, a little bit more information. I've got this ServiceTracker section here to show me all the contracts, schedules, visits, actions, any alerts that are being sent to the customer, and any client attachments. I can scroll past that and I've got the address details. So I can click into perhaps the Google map, and then that will show me exactly where this site is. And then if you want to be a little bit more creative, you can always just use some of the Google features to kind of record distances and see how big buildings are, things like that. Okay, close that down and we're back on the client screen. You can see then at the bottom things like the person who created it and the person who modified it, whilst over on the right hand side you've got a full audit trail to show you exactly what's happened on the site, any activity, and it gives you the option then to send an email, log a telephone call, or just add a to-do list or a new task to do something for this site. Under the ServiceTracker section, Gives me the ability to create new jobs, new actions, new alerts, client attachments, and a few more other things like exporting service reports to send an email out to the customer. Back on the related list, I can click into perhaps a contact, and that takes me to the contact detail record. You can see email addresses, you can see anything related to the contact, and you can see the details of who the contact is. It's the same theme when you click on something like a contract. So you will first have a list or a search list, you will click into the record and you'll get the record detail. The only difference is the screens. So now we're on a contract, you can see there's a little blue bar with schedules, quotes, activity, attachments, alerts, history, summary of what's happening on the contract. If you go to the schedules, again it's the same kind of thing, you get a list and you can then look at a particular schedule, open the record, and then you've got a details list. So you can see there's a pattern in the way that the user interface works and how you navigate this system. Exactly the same with visits, and you just click into one of the records and you're in the visit detail page. Okay. Related lists are things like inspections, actions, quotes, attachments. You can always see that from here, but on the details list, especially on a visit, this is where you will see all of the details of what's happened on site. A technician would usually fill this in on the mobile and then you'd be able to see it, but you can always edit these things as an administrator, change things around, and then ultimately you can then view the service report like so. Here's just a typical treatment report where you'd put your logo, showed you that earlier, and the address and telephone number of your company. All of the details then are taken from the visit, which are basically taken from the mobile when a technician completes a visit. On this particular report, you would have photos, you could have trend analysis, you can have recommendations, actions, prep, signatures, everything that you would expect on a technician's report that goes into this. And you can always customize it. When it comes to running reports, you go on your reports tab. Again, just check out the all folders, have a look behind the scenes, I suppose, and then you can click on things like perhaps visits. So you could search for visit, and you could say what visits are due. That just gives you a big long list. Shows you all the visits that are due, and then you can export that if you want to into maybe Excel or a CSV. There's a few bits and pieces you can customize yourselves. There's a few things we can always customize, but what you do over on the top right hand side is click on this little gear icon and you can just say things like edit page. Once I'm in here, I can then mess around with the home page. I could take off the dashboard if I didn't want it. I could move things around very easily. I can add different pages or different dashboards in. Lists. So for example, whenever I log in, I might want to see a list of all the open visits. So I can say, show me my visits. So lots and lots of customization you can do, including the actual pages themselves. So for example, if I was on a visit page and I wanted to change this so I don't use, I don't know, my lone worker and my risk assessment. So I click on the gear icon, edit page. And then within here, I could just do things like change the page layout. I can take things off the screen, and then I'm removing sections. I can add fields in. I can create brand new fields if I wanted to, and really make it my own. This will also have a direct effect on the mobile. So whatever you update here, updates the mobile straight away. Once you get used to kind of the navigation and the layout, things become very, very easy. Getting information into the system uses a few wizards. So for example, I start off with an inquiry. I could say it's an existing client, or I could say it's a new client. Gives me a different set of options each time. And essentially I'm just filling in some details. So I'm letting the screen lead me. So I can put in some details, maybe the lead source, what they're after, create a quotation, next. And that's my inquiry log. Very quickly, click finish. And then what you'll be able to see, just do a quick refresh. You'll be able to see that that has created a quotation just very, very quickly. The quotation detail, then I can add pricing, so I can add new line items and put some products in. Put some prices in. And then that's it. I've made myself a quotation. I can then print it. I can email it to the customer. I can follow a sales process to run through kind of surveying and negotiating, quoted, accepted, things like that. So very, very quick. Created a quotation. You could, of course, just go straight in and create a new job. So you can say new job. And I could put in the name of the site that I'm working for. Select it. Tick a few boxes. And then I'm ready to put in some detail. Number of visits, let's do 2 visits, 1 every week, 1 weekly. It's going to cost them £800 and they're going to pay £5. You can fill in a lot of detail on this. So you can go to town with your PO numbers and your works order numbers and all sorts of things. But essentially, we just want to create a very quick job and assign it to somebody. So we assign it to a schedule owner. This will have a list of all of your technicians, and you click next. And that's it. A new job has been created. Creating new contracts is exactly the same. So you go to the new contract, you put in the name of the customer, you select the customer. By the way, if it didn't exist, then it would prompt you to create it. So it would ask you for all the billing details, the address, phone numbers, contact details, all the rest of it. So let's just select an existing one, tick a few boxes, and off we go. So we can put in the products, we can put in the name, contract, you can put in the number of visits. So every month we're going to go once a month, 1 monthly, and it's going to take 45 minutes per visit, and they're covered for maybe cockroaches, mice, rats. Response times, we'll give them a day's response time. Value of the contract, any PO numbers, any optional extras you want to put in, including the months. You can create recurring invoices, recurring sales orders, whatever you fancy, and then click next. Assign that schedule to a particular person, and there's your contract. So all of that information now will be pushed into the calendar. So you can always click on the calendar once you create a job or you create a contract, and then just check that it's there. Okay, you can have a look at the maybe different views, like week views, 5 days, swim lanes. Just have a play around with it. You can look at specific people, you can look at specific groups of users, but yeah, all the information will be in the calendar ready, and you can drag and drop like any calendar, and you can click into records as well to view them, and you can see exactly what is there to be filled in. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Have a play around with it, see what you think, and yeah, any questions, please get in touch with us. Thank you.